Welcome students to my channel Best Way to Learn by Engineer Prashant Saxena. So in the last video we have discussed about algorithm. In this video I am going to talk about flowcharts, pseudocode. So when we talk about flowchart, what are flowcharts? So flowcharts are basically pictorial presentation of an algorithm or a pseudocode. Now, how can you present anything diagrammatically? So for that you have flowchart symbols. So the first symbol, basically it consists of parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, oval, then rectangles, then double rectangle and an oval. And every symbol has their specific function. So for example, your parallelogram is always used for input and output, whereas rhombus can be used for conditions or looping. So conditions like if else and while for are the loops. The oval rectangle is basically used for start and end. Then rectangles are used for declaring an element or assigning any value. And if you want to call a function in a program, then definitely you will use double rectangle. And when you want to connect your flowchart on 2 pages or 3 pages, then you will be definitely using connector. Next we come to pseudocode. Most of the people have confusion between pseudocode and algorithm. They think that pseudocode and algorithm are same or alternative, but there are certain rules which distinct these two things. For example, in pseudocode there is no syntax. It is critically strictly written for humans, and humans can understand it and computer cannot understand. Okay, whereas algorithm is written stepwise and it can be converted into programming. And pseudocode normally omits details that are not important to human understanding of the algorithm. Okay, so pseudocode you can write directly everything and anybody can understand. But computer cannot interpret the pseudocode. They cannot convert that language into computer language. So when programmer develops pseudocode, it is not necessary that they think of a particular programming language. So they can write a pseudocode in any programming language for any programming language. They are only providing solution. Now it is up to the programmer in which language they want to convert it. Now what are the algorithms and what are their expressions? So in this, if you see, in this example, if you see an algorithm in which begin and end. So the purpose of this algorithm is that the particular this message, this will be printed twice. It should print 2 times, whereas the another message should print 4 times. Now a simple algorithm can be written for that. Now the same algorithm expressed in pseudocode form. Now this is pseudocode form which is from IB syllabus. So what they have done, they have started first loop in which they run this loop twice, and this message is given as output for 2 times. And after that they declare one variable with a value of 1 because this next loop should be run 4 times. So they have used condition while and checked the condition that while your C value is less than 5, this message will be printed, and then they incremented it. So please note, this loop is true till the value of C is less than 5. As soon as it comes to 5, this loop will be, it comes out from the loop. Now again, the same program they have written in a programming language called Pascal or Delphi. So here they have written variable A and C, begin, and if you see that there are very similarity between the pseudocode there and this, that for A is equal to 1 to 2, do, begin, write ln, complete the print, and C is equal to 1 while C less than 5, and they have done the same thing. Now how this particular code can be written in the flowchart presentation. So it is the start, declare integer A, you have used the rhombus for this purpose, A1 to 2, and next display this number, then 1 becomes 2, again it will display. After that, when the values are set, done, then they have declared C, say C is equal to 1, again they are checking the condition, if it is C is less than 5 is true. So 1 is less than 5, it is true, so it will be printed, then see the value of C is updated, 2. Again it is true, similarly this loop will go, finally when we get C is equal to 5. 5 is less than 5, this condition is false. So it will of course come here and it will be end. So you can see that how these things are related to each other. The same problem has been written in 3 different forms. And now this problem is written in Java. Now if you see here in Java, public static void main, and everything is written a is equal to 1, a less than equal to 2, plus equal to 1, and then the same process they have done. Right? So this is all what algorithm, flowchart, pseudocode, everything is included in this. Now the next topic comes is programming concept. What is a program? So program is taken from a Latin word called programming, and which means it solves the problem. Okay. So there are and the term programmer is taken from program because the person who do the coding is known as programmer. Now in this programming concept we will be learning general principles, and the first principle is thinking procedurally. So when we talk about thinking procedurally, it means you need to solve a problem step by step. Like you are doing, you're solving a sum of mathematics, then you cannot avoid steps. So you need to solve that problem step by step in simple steps. So that is thinking procedurally. So order of activities and required outcome is always known. So if you change the order, your output will be changed. So you cannot make any changes because it is already pre-planned, and according to that you need to go. So if you make the changes, then there will be total waste of time, money, effort, resources. So don't make any changes in that. What is the role of sub-procedure in solving a problem? Okay. Now let's say you have a big complex program, and that program is really very tough. So what we do, we usually divide that problem, or we usually break that problem into small sub-problems. And if it is more possible, then we can break it in another sub-problems, and then we distribute it. And we ask everyone to solve that sub-problem. And after getting the result from each sub-problem, we collate it and get the final answer. So which is, like it can be dealt individually. So this strategy is also known as top design or stepwise refinement, and it is very easy and very affirmative. So most of the companies follow the same thing. Also, a sub-procedure contains a series of commands that perform a task. So when a sub-procedure is already declared, it can be reused. So all the statements can be executed again and again if we get the same type of problem. So now let's see an example of sub-procedure. Let us find the roots of a quadratic equation, and we know the condition that roots of a quadratic equation is always depend on discriminant, that is called d, and the value of d is always b square minus 4ac. Everything is based on discriminant. If your d is less than 0, then there will be no solution. If d is greater than 0, then your roots will be positive, and your roots will be real, and they will be having value. Where if d is equal to 0, then roots will be real and equal. And in this case, d will be real and unequal. Roots will be. So what they did, they just call the sub procedure here for d, and then they check the condition. And here they have declared sub procedure in which they are calculating, and after that they are returning the value of d here, and it is assigned here. So this value is coming to this place. Now once the value comes, then it follows the set of rules. Now second is thinking logically. Now here we are supposed to take decision making in a specified situation. For example, if you want to add two numbers, there is no decision to be taken. It can be done directly because it's a straightforward problem. Now if we are taking some problem, let's say we are standing at a zebra crossing and we need to cross a road, or we are following the traffic light rule, then we can only cross when light is green. So I have a condition that light is green. If it is true, then set pedestrian pass, they can go. If it is not, then they need to wait. So my conditions are here. If light is green, then set pedestrian pass. Otherwise, it should be wait. Now, decision required for a solution in specified problem. Now, when we talk about this, it means that you need to work, you need to work according to the problem or situation. You can sometimes your values can be different for the same problem, but it depends on which situation you are dealing with. For example, a student is allowed to go to a football game if the following conditions are fulfilled. Now, conditions are already given. His conditions are that he should complete his homework and weather should be good. So both the conditions should be true. Now we have made a table for that homework done, weather is good and condition is allowed. So let's say homework is done, weather is good, then the child can go. Now second condition, homework is done but weather is not good, so he cannot go. If homework is not done but weather is good, then again he cannot go because homework is not done. If both conditions are false, like homework not done and weather is also not good, then definitely that child can't go. Now it means it requires AND. So this algorithm is like this. Now please note that this is not IB compatible pseudocode, but it can be used for that. So we are taking Boolean. Now Boolean is basically true or false. It can only accept either true or false value. That's why we are using it. So it is written homework done, weather is good, allowed, and then input homework done, input weather is good. Now if homework done and weather is good, then allowed, otherwise it will be false. So it's a simple algorithm. Now then we will be using iteration. Iteration means repetition of the same decision under specific problem. Like we have done last time, that you need to print that statement 4 times. So here we will put C is equal to 0 in the starting, and then we check if C is less than 5. If this condition is true, then you need to increment. And again it goes here 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when it becomes 5 is less than 5, which is false, definitely it will come out. It will go in this direction, otherwise it will go in this direction. Now iteration is the process of repeating a series of instructions. So we can also call it loop, right? So basically it completes the task unless and until your condition either becomes false or true. Now there are certain conditions in which loops becomes infinite. It means your condition never becomes false or never becomes true. So that needs to be checked properly. Okay, now IBM notation for developing pseudocode does not include the following flowchart symbol, although it is widely accepted. So in case if you are using these symbols, it can be accepted. It depends on the invigilator and the moderating committee, but definitely we can use it. So don't expect that they cannot give you marks. They can give, right? So this is the example of while loop, like input, how many times do you want to see the message, and then same thing. And decision and conditional statement. So when we talk about this conditional statement is always used with the if then else. Where you are using if and else, then you have only two conditions and you need to solve that. Okay. And for example, that type a number. If a is equal to 0, then output is 1. If a else a plus 2 is equal to greater than 6, then output 2. Convert the algorithm to equivalent. Right? Now initial algorithm is this. The solution is what? Input type a number. If a is equal to 0, then output is 1. And if a plus 2 is greater than 6, then output is equal to 2. If not, if both the conditions fall, then output is 3. So programming example now. So these are the simple examples of your if and else condition. Right? If then else. Now let's say please enter a number. If now we need to check whether the number is positive or negative. So in this case, if x is greater than 0, then we can say output is positive. If it is equal to 0, the number neither positive nor negative. Otherwise, the number will be negative. Right? So this is all examples for this. Now in the next video, I am going to talk about logical rule for the real world. This topic will be covered and more will be there. So if you like my video, just share it. Please subscribe my channel, and as many as students, if they get to know that I'm making video for them for computer science, so please ask them to subscribe my channel. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.